there's a mentality that like the goal is to get an academic job. And if you don't, then what else can you do? I think it's important to actually frame the job options, the non-academic jobs, as positive. So I did a PhD in history at McGill University, Montreal. And after that, I did a 2-year postdoc at Columbia University in New York, and then a 2-year postdoc at the University of New Hampshire. And in that second postdoc, I was also the managing editor of an academic journal, 18th Century Studies, and increasingly got into freelance editing. So working with academics, some postdocs as well, some graduate students on books, articles, dissertations, job dossiers, tenure dossier, really any type of academic writing that someone would produce. And so by the time of that second postdoc, I found myself increasingly spending my time helping people with their writing. So still being kind of a part-time academic, but I increasingly enjoyed the interaction, working with people. I enjoyed the challenge of helping them take their ideas and to express them clearly and concisely and persuasively. And so that was the segue into moving into research facilitation. And that's my current job. I'm a research facilitator at McMaster University in Hamilton, Ontario. And most of my role involves helping researchers get funding for their research projects. The support systems in universities that are focused on research, those are increasingly large. And the number of people who go into them increasingly have PhDs. And partly this is just as the academic job market is increasingly difficult. People with PhDs need somewhere to go. But the best place to look for those jobs are in individual university websites. So my best piece of advice for people would be, choose the city or cities in which you can see being a home base and look at the colleges and universities, look at their career sites. Anything within a research office is going to speak to people, I think, who have PhDs who are looking for alt-ac employment. I wish there was some guidance, some resources, some people to talk about. Here are the skills you've probably developed in doing your dissertation. Here's how to talk about them as transferable skills that are going to resonate outside the walls of the academy. So there's still a kind of, I think, a residual, the measure of success as an academic department is producing more academics. There's a mentality that like the goal is to get an academic job. And if you don't, then what else can you do? And I even slip in that language sometimes. I think it's important to actually frame the job options, the non-academic jobs, as positive, right? And I'll say, I was offered a tenure track position. I was offered a 3-year position that maybe would have evolved into tenure track. In many ways, I was kind of successful on the job market for my field, for my time, but proactively chose, no, that's not the route I want to go. And I think that tracking, where do our graduates end up 5 years out would be useful, if for no other reason than to show current graduate students, like, here's the data we have on where people go. The default assumption shouldn't be you want to be an academic. I think it's important you work hard and you publish and you have insights and you go to conferences, and that door is wide open, but that's not the be all or end all.